are back here on the hunt at Norwich Videogame Retro Market, and we are looking for one very specific game today. Let's see if we can find it. Game Picker! Video Game Transfer! Rush Trips! Live Game Hunting! Hello again folks, and welcome to a very special video. That's because today we are hunting right here in the fine city of Norwich at the Norwich Videogame Retro Market, and we are on the hunt for a very specific game. A game which I really should already own in my collection. A game of shame, if you will. So join me on the hunt for that specific game, as well as other amazing games to add to the collection at Norwich Videogame Retro Market. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and please subscribe, as I put new videos out every Saturday night at 5, as well as bonus content throughout the week, and I really want you folks along for the ride. Now, let's head to the gaming market. Here we go then, bright and early on a Sunday morning at the Forum in the heart of Norwich for the Video Game Retro Market. And straight away we are finding video games. This is what I love about this market. There are games everywhere, and straight away I am met by a table packed with some really good retro games. And a little bit of everything from PlayStation 2 to SNES, Xbox to even Atari and cassette-based games. Everything here to see. But if you fancy trying your luck, they also have a prize draw tombola. So maybe you can pick up some retro games for just the price of a raffle ticket. Now, myself, I'm not much of a gambling man, so I did decide to pass on this one. But this could be a really cool way to win something cool for your collection for a fraction of the price. I am lucky enough to have a designated camera person for today. My wife is on camera duties for this gaming market, which means I can get into the important matter at hand, game hunting. And whilst I have a sizable PS1 collection, there are always games I need for my collection, such as this game right here, June. Now, I'm an RTS fan, and this is a fantastic strategy game from the makers of Command & Conquer, but I'm holding out for the full art version of that game rather than the classics version. But speaking of artwork, check out the artwork on these D&D cassette-based games. I just swear, D&D artwork back in the 80s just hits differently. Just look at this. It is absolutely beautiful. And the thing is, they had to sell games like this on the artwork back in the day. And again, look at this Star Wars trilogy. 3 incredible games here, but the artwork just hits differently. Now, I think I do have all 3 of these Star Wars games on cassette separately, so I did pass on this big box version. But this artwork, whilst incredibly hard to put back in the box, I did leave it to the seller, was just absolutely beautiful. And honestly, when it comes to these cassette-based games, this is what I love about these. And this was a cool little extra item here, the original receipt for this game from back in the day. It's just little extras like this that make it even cooler. Now, me and my wife are avid Pokemon card collectors, her more than me, but there was an absolutely fantastic array of Pokemon cards on this next stall here, and we just couldn't resist picking some of these up because it has been super hard to find some of these new The Glory of Team Rocket card packs, and this one is just a thing of beauty. Mewtwo will always be my favourite Pokemon, and I just think the artwork on these Team Rocket packs just hits differently, and this one's going to look absolutely amazing on our Pokemon display. Yes, we will be keeping it sealed, even though this black and white pack was also very, very tempting. We just had to go with the Glory of Team Rocket, an absolutely fantastic price. Now, this next stall was one of the best stalls at the market this time, and not only did they have once again an incredible selection of Pokemon cards and an amazing selection of consoles, they also had an amazing selection of SNES games. Have a look at your Super Metroid. Is it got the player's guide?
Yeah, have a look. It's really nice, isn't it?
How much you got on it?
5. There's a little bit of flexibility in that. It's a good thing there.
Yeah, it's very sweet inside. Now, this big box version of Super Metroid is very hard to find, but this is the hardest part to find. That's the hard bit to find. In case of the full guide. Now, Super Metroid is super duper cool, but here is something I have never ever seen before. I have seen multiple versions of Killer Instinct before, including a version I own with a CD, but never this version. It's amazing how many different kind of versions you find of like the same game as such.
Yeah. What's like my Batman is the Woolworths edition.
Oh, I do know which one you mean, yeah.
Which is the really rare one.
Yes, it is, yeah.
And like, and it's like I had the go and watch the Egg.
Yeah.
Which is the Canadian only release one. But I sold it. It's my favourite.
Now, whilst that variant of Killer Instinct for the SNES was very, very cool, I'm not quite in the market to start picking up variants for my SNES collection quite yet. I have a copy of Killer Instinct with the Killer Cut CD, and I'm happy with that version in my collection for now. Now, I already have a copy of this game right here as well, Jurassic Park for the SNES, once again in very minty condition. And all of these SNES games here on this store were in basically mint condition. And there was some really good prices here. But when it comes to SNES games that I pick up for my collection, I mainly pick up games from my childhood. Games I remember playing back in the day. And there's a couple of games I remember very well from my childhood right here, including Earthworm Jim 2. But back in the day, I did mainly play that game on the Mega Drive. So I have more of a connection to the Mega Drive version of that game. And this can be true for a lot of the games here. The Star Wars is cool as well. I think it's just like the art of the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Really nice. That is insanely clean as well. Now, over the course of 2024, I managed to find all 3 of the Super Star Wars games released for the SNES mint in box. And who knows, maybe in 2025, I'm going to have to go for the complete Star Wars collection on the Game Boy. But for today, we are hunting for SNES games here at this store. And I have some hard decisions, as honestly, I could quite happily take every game here home. I have basically a choice. I could pick up one heavy hitter or a couple of cheaper titles. And I have to admit, Primal Rage is speaking to me. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I loved that game. Another game I loved back in the day was Flashback, because honestly, back in the day, it had some of the best graphics I'd ever seen. And I think those futuristic 16-bit graphics still stand up to this day. Unirally isn't a game I loved back in the day, and I never played many Kirby games, either back in the day or now. But honestly, it's hard to make a choice with this many good SNES games in front of you. But I will always have a soft spot for Cool Spot. Such a hard decision. This console seems to be following me at the moment, the Vectrex. On last week's episode, we saw a complete collection for this very obscure console. And honestly, the more I see it, the more I want it. It is one of the most beautiful, eye-catching retro consoles of all time. Now, when you are hunting at any video game market, it's all about patience. You can't just buy the first cool item you see, as you never know what's just around the corner. And I'm sure, like me, most collectors have a finite budget when they're hunting at gaming markets such as this one. So I always decide to do at least one round around the market before I make a decision, because you just, once again, never know what's round the corner. And every store here had an amazing selection of games for sale. Like, check out all of these boxed N64 games. The N64 will always have a special place in my heart, as it's the first console I ever bought with my own money. Now, a lot of people, myself included, talk about retro Nintendo cardboard, but let's talk about modern Nintendo cardboard, because I believe in years to come, this could be the kind of thing people are looking for. In 20 or 30 years' time, these special editions and collector's editions for the Nintendo Switch. This one looked really cool, but I didn't really know a lot about it, so I did decide to leave it behind. But this store also had an incredible selection of retro, including a really, really good selection of Mega Drive games. Hard driving.
Mm-hmm.
I've got that really weird, like, kind of early 3D graphics in there. It's kind of odd. Really.
Yeah, I like those kind of.
Yeah, I like the kind of, it looks futuristic.
It reminds me of that wheel I had as a child. Driving wheel.
Mom's favourite game. I think.
Yeah.
The box there, they're in that.
Yeah. It's just some amazing artwork.
Yeah.
We should play this game together. It's really, really good.
Okay.
I think we'd like it.
Buck Rogers. Who's Buck Rogers?
Nice TSR game. That's interesting. Yeah. It's kind of D&D but Buck Rogers. That's interesting. Never heard of that before. As you can see then, a really good selection of Mega Drive games here. And like I said, I'd never heard of that Buck Rogers game before. So if you've played that game, please comment down below. It's definitely one I'm going to do a bit more research on. Because for 45 quid, I didn't really want to take a risk in case it's a game which doesn't interest me, because as you can see, there is a lot of games here, and of course I did have a finite budget for today, and I just didn't want to take a risk picking up a game for 45 quid I might not enjoy. And I'm sure I will, and hopefully one day I'll pick it up. I've never seen that Batman game before.
No, what's that?
Batman Return of the Joker, 20 quid. As I said earlier, I have a fairly sizable PS1 collection, but I'd never heard of this game before. And I checked on the CX app, and CX do not sell this game, which is surprising for a large IP such as Batman. But for 20 quid, complete in fantastic condition, you know what they say, the time to buy something is the time you see it. And I'd never seen this game before. I don't know if I'll ever see it again. So for 20 quid, I'm going to take a risk on this one. But this store also had a really good selection of Xbox 360 games, including, somewhat ironically, a copy of Batman Arkham City with this lenticular cover, which unfortunately the video here just isn't doing justice. What else? I don't see very often.
It's a steelbook, huh?
Which one is it? Which one do you reckon?
Joker?
Oh, what a guess. Some amazing skills there by my wife guessing the back cover of that Batman steelbook. But this store not only had an amazing selection of PS1 games and Xbox 360 games, they also had some very minty Game Boy Advance games, including this copy of Pokemon, one I thankfully do already have in a collection. Now, I don't really collect very hardcore other than Pokemon for the Game Boy Advance, but this game was tempting for the nostalgia. Simpsons Road Rage. What a game that was. I do already own this Zelda game, but yeah, this store had some absolutely incredible games for incredible prices in absolutely amazing condition. But they definitely had the creme de la creme, the best of the best behind the stall on this shelving unit here. This was just grail after grail, banger after banger. These were the heaviest of the heaviest hitters here today at the Norwich Videogame Retro Market. Basically, picking up any one of these games would have been the gem of anyone's collection. Collecting for me is all about nostalgia, and there are few things more nostalgic than trading cards, because these were the perfect thing to collect back in the day when I was young with my pocket money for, of course, pocket money prices. Still has bubblegum. Imagine how delicious that bubble gum will be now. Like, how old's the gum going to be in there? It's going to be 1989 bubble gum.
So as old as me.
That's disgusting. Not your age, the age of the gum.
Wow.
Starship Troopers ones. I actually remember getting these Independence Day ones back in the day, because they had like the hollow foil chase cards. Yeah. I remember finding one of them. They're super cool.
I remember some of these in here, some like the Ghostbusters ones, I think. Yeah.
I just remember the gum. You can just taste
it
like... To this day, I can't quite describe the taste of trading card bubble gum. I think it was meant to be strawberry, but I think it was always just listed as bubble gum flavoured, which just tastes like nothing but bubble gum. But I can taste it right now. That taste of nostalgia, just thinking about it right now, just takes me back down memory lane. There's some tough decisions, so I've narrowed it down to 3.
Right, how much for that?
So it's 30, 20, 30.
Right.
I think I'm going to go for 2. They're all complete.
So that's your budget, isn't it?
But I think I'm only going to get 2. I don't know which 2.
The top 2 look good. Are you sure you don't have Rage?
I have it on the Mega Drive.
Alright.
Which you put the top 2, not full spot.
What is it?
It's a Nightfall game. 7.
Oh, that looks quite cool. Can you get a deal on
What's your best on these three?
It was time to make some tough decisions. You'll have to stick around to the end of this video for the pickups to find out which of these games I picked up and if I could make a deal on these absolutely minty SNES games. Regardless of what I'm taking home, it's been an amazing day. Tough decisions made and games picked up. There's always time to have one more walk around before leaving because FOMO, basically. There's always that worry that there's something I've missed, and I always like to have a look at these stands which have some of these more creative bits on. Yes, some people love them, some people hate them, but I think it's just cool to see people's creativity at work here. And this was super cool to see, these N64 cartridge stands, because honestly, loose N64 carts can be an absolute nightmare to display, and I just think these are the best, most creative way to display them. Some really nice bits here which I think are very important to have in your games room because it just gives it that added flair and just makes it look a little bit cooler rather than just having stacks and stacks of just games.
So I do really like the Elden Ring collector's editions, but the problem is I don't think I like Elden Ring. But they're super cool, like that's incredibly cool.
Who knows, maybe one day I will play Elden Ring, as everything I see about that game I absolutely love. I love the character design, the lore, the storyline, the setting of the game. I think it's just that crushing difficulty that puts me off, but maybe, who knows, I just need to get good. Some really cool things on this stand. Once again, I could have spent a lot of money. Now, these aren't everyone's cup of tea, but I absolutely love strategy guides. I have almost a full bookshelf of strategy guides, and somehow I still keep managing to squeeze a few more on, but I'm definitely nearly at capacity. But there are a few here that really tempted me, as I think these are going to be harder and harder to find in years to come, so grab them while you can. The next stall at the market was owned by good friends of the channel, Second Chance Treasures, who always have an incredible selection of games on sale at every market, and this time was no different. And this time they had an incredible selection of Pokemon games in fantastic condition for fantastic prices, and it's getting harder to find these games in condition and at prices like this, much like this next time, which is something I've been enjoying collecting very much recently.
I like that one. I like that one. I like that one.
The last
That's what I do like. I do like. Yeah, good. You ready for the chaos?
always. Yeah.
So actually, I really like the Death Stranding one.
This mop is growing on me. It's now only slightly disgusting.
See, I do like the last one as well. I still think that's one of the best ones I ever did.
Sadly, we're coming to the end of the video game retro market here in Norwich this time, and unfortunately no PlayStation 5 controllers added to the collection this time, and unfortunately we didn't manage to find that video game we were looking for this time. So can I offer you an egg in this trying time? So that was the video game retro market here in Norwich. Now, the market isn't just about buying video games, it's about playing video games, and Norwich Retro Gamers had set up some of the very best retro consoles for everyone to play on the day, including this one right here, the Vectrex. The first time I've ever played this console, and now solidified the fact I need this one in my collection, but just not today. For today we have got some amazing pickups to go back to look at in the games room.
Here we are then, back in the games room after another absolutely incredible Norwich video game retro market. Now, unfortunately, we didn't find a specific game of shame we were looking for this time. And you're going to find out what game that is on the next episode of the Dan the Gamesman podcast as we discuss our games of shame. So stay tuned for that next Friday, live at 5 here on the channel and wherever you get your podcast. But before we get into the pickups this time, a massive shout out to Ricky and all the organisers of the Video Game Retro Market Norwich. And these flyers are absolutely incredible. Again, massive shout out to them. It's really good to see organisers of gaming market supporting local YouTubers. Let's get into the pickups then from the Norwich Video Game Retro Market this time. And our first pickup is this box of Pokemon cards. It is the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX box. And this is one of me and my wife's favourite Pokemon releases of recent
years, because these Glory of Team Rocket packs are just absolutely incredible. Mewtwo will always be my favourite Pokemon, just because it was the Pokemon I used the most in the original OG Red game. So this one is going to be display only. You'll probably see it behind us in the video in future episodes if I can find room for it. But yeah, EX boxes like this are really good to grab now, because this one is definitely one which is going to go up in value in years to come. Our next pickup is a PS1 game, and it is a game I had never seen before. It is this game right here, Batman of the Future: Return of the Joker. Now, I have played a fairly large number of Batman games over the years, especially on the PS1. But this is a game I've never played before and never seen before. Now, I don't really know a lot about Batman of the Future, and I'm not really sure how I feel about the art style of this one, but if I see a PS1 game I've never seen before for a decent price in condition like this, I'm probably going to pick it up. I paid 20 quid for this one. I think that's about the right price, maybe slightly under market value, and honestly, just for a game I've never seen before, very happy to add this one to the collection. Which brings us on to our final and largest pickup this time for the Norwich Videogame Retro Market. And like I said in the video, I had some hard decisions to make. So which games do you think I picked up? Well, it's obvious. I just picked up all of the games because these were such a good price, and I just got an offer I couldn't refuse. So these SNES games are absolutely minty, and you know me, and probably loads of you watching, SNES cardboard is getting harder and harder to find, especially in condition like this and at prices like these. Like the first game we have here, Flashback, was just 20 quid, and back in the day, and still to this day, I think these are some of the best 16-bit graphics you will find anywhere. This is an absolutely incredible game, a really fun game which has really stood the test of time, and it actually blows my mind this was made by Sony. Now, all of these games are CIB in incredible condition. I just don't want to take the carts up because they're really fiddly to get back in. The second game we picked up for the princely sum of £30 is Cool Spot. Now, these are the kind of platform games I absolutely love. These kind of mascot games like this. So I think this was between Virgin 7-Up as well. Like, you obviously have Cool Spot. It's a really good 2D platformer and has some really great 16-bit sprites and incredible music. It's definitely one to play if you've never played it before. And the final game we picked up is a game which is very decisive, Primal Rage. Now, I've recently picked this up for the Mega Drive, but I just wanted to get the SNES version as well, just because this is in incredible condition. And what else can I say about this game? It's a beat-em-up game with dinosaurs. They had 30 quid on this game, and I managed to get a bundle on all three of these games. All three of these games here for just 70 quid, which I think is a really, really good deal. These came from a personal collector's collection, and he had definitely taken care of these, and hopefully I'll see him again at future markets. There we have it then, folks. That was the Norwich Video Game Retro Market, and as always, it was an absolute pleasure. We managed to add some absolutely amazing games to the collection, but comment down below if you were at this gaming market or any gaming market recently and what you found for your collection. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and as always, keep playing the game. See y'all soon.